Welcome to Business Talks with your host, Kent Adams. Join Kent now as he sits down with business and community leaders to discuss a wide range of important topics in business. Business Talks is brought to you in part by STCU and Bryan Logistics. Now, here's Kent.
Welcome to Business Talks. Hope you're having a good day. We're at Indaba Coffee, downtown Spokane. In case you hadn't noticed, we're drinking, one of us is drinking something ice. And
black coffee.
I know, black coffee.
I'm still waking up.
Yeah, that's old school black coffee. Matthew Kaufler, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Ken?
I'm doing great.
Good.
And I'm loving the summer. And as we record this, it's going to be, 97, 98 out
at least
outside.
Yeah.
And we move our studio, as I mentioned before, this Saturday. And it's supposed to be like 77.
A little bit of a reprieve.
It helps.
Yeah.
It helps. Loading at 99 it would be a little too much. You have quite a career. You're retired.
We'll put that in finger quotes for now.
Yeah. Both of us. But the fact is, you had quite a career. Without maybe getting into the particulars, you spent 30 some years in the financial industry and so forth. What did you do?
Sure. So I would, I would basically break my career down in half. The first half of my career, I was an analyst for a firm called Clover Capital Management, and we were very hands-on in our investments. And I would travel around the country, meet with companies, and we would invest in them on behalf of our clients.
Sure.
And that went about through half of my career. In the other half of my career, I was a portfolio manager, and I had the privilege to manage a large cap value portfolio. And at the same time, I still had that inner analyst in me, and would go around visiting companies.
You had that curiosity.
Absolutely, strong intellectual curiosity.
Yeah. I kid people. I wish I had the interest in learning things in education back in high school and college that I have now.
Yes.
Isn't it funny how we get to the point where I love history and all of that, and quite frankly, the industry that we're in is just an emerging one, and we're creating a lot of it, which is kind of fun. And I laugh at myself at my age creating something new, but it's fun because it's here in Spokane.
Yes.
And that just really adds to it. You moved from who knows
Rochester, New York, actually.
Oh, New York.
Yeah.
New York City, almost.
Almost.
Yeah. And you moved to Coeur d'Alene. What brought you to Coeur d'Alene?
My wife. I got remarried, and I have an awesome wife, and she lived in Coeur d'Alene. My kids were essentially out of the house and on their way to college, and hers were still very much in middle school and high school. So it just made more sense for me to relocate here.
So you've got the second generation of kids.
I do. We have a blended family. The kids are ages 20 to almost 28.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. Beautiful place to live over here.
It is.
In fact, the entire Inland Northwest is. And you start thinking about and seeing on the news these days some of the other things going on around the country, and we're really blessed to have the nature nearby and to have the small businesses start up and so forth. And speaking of startup, you've been really involved in helping small businesses grow, and that really comes from your curiosity and how that happens and so forth. Talk for a minute about what you've been doing in this area.
Sure. So in the last 18 months since I've been retired, I got involved with Startup Spokane, and I met people like Steve Traben, who I know has been on the show, Megan Halsey, Tom Simpson, and so forth. And I've been able to mentor startups and essentially, help them thinking through their business, and also help them put together, because startups are hungry for capital. They need to attract capital in order to survive and hopefully grow and get to the next level. And there's a certain science behind that, but there's a certain art behind that. And I've tried very hard to work with startups in the local community and help position them for success in terms of raising money from outside investors. And that's been very gratifying.
Are you doing that in Coeur d'Alene as well?
No, actually, it's been really more here in Spokane that I've been involved.
Yeah, but a lot of that spills over, though, too.
Absolutely. There's a huge spillover effect.
Why do that? Why is that important to you when you could be out on a golf course or doing something else?
Well, it kind of goes back to what you said earlier. I just have a natural intellectual curiosity. I've always, business to me is not a chore. It's fun. I enjoy the process. I enjoy the challenge. If it's not fun,
move on.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, frankly, after a couple of back surgeries, golf itself isn't really going to be my calling. But more than that, I spent 30 odd years very dedicated to raising 2 children at the time, being involved in my career, and I really didn't put aside the time. I didn't have the time to put aside for more, for a giving back, if you will, for volunteering.
Right.
And since I became retired, my time is much more my own.
Okay.
And this is my way of giving back.
Nice.
So
nice.
That's what I've been up to.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I'd like to talk about the atmosphere of startups in the Spokane, Coeur d'Alene area.
Sure.
And I've got an opinion on it. We'll see if it matches at all yours.
Okay.
We'll be right back after this.
I'm Nikki Butler, and I'm a regional manager for STCU. My lunch buddy is Nicole.
I'm Brandi Schloss. I'm a regional manager at STCU. My lunch buddy is Angelina. She's grown up with me. I've grown up with her. To see her graduate will be a lot of fun.
Brandi and I have been lunch buddies since the girls were in 2nd grade. It's great that STCU provides me with the opportunity to be part of Reach for the Future. We are committed to the children. We're committed to our community. I'm Nikki.
I'm Brandi.
And STCU is here for good.
Bryan Logistics would like to invite you to try our local and regional transportation services. With Sprinter vans, lift gates, hot shot flatbeds, and expedited services, our people are ready to step in and help with your transportation needs. Our services are 24/7, 365, and we are trained and prepared to handle air cargo and Canadian shipments. Give us a call at 208-305-2311 or visit our website at o'brienlogistics.net. That's OBRIEN logistics.net.
Well, welcome back to Business Talks. Matthew Kaufler. Yes. You saw I was stumbling, didn't you?
That's okay.
I'm the first one to ever stumble on that, though, right?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, right. Okay, let's get back to the truth here.
Right.
Okay. One of the things that I've discovered, and I'm going to test this on you,
Sure.
is that in Spokane, and I'm going to say Spokane area, because it's more than just downtown Spokane or just Spokane Central and so forth, that we have a very giving community that if you're a startup, you've got a new idea, or even if you're going to compete with a coffee shop or something else, that there's the synergy. You can go and talk to people and get counsel and help.
Yes.
Is that kind of unusual? I think it is compared to like a Seattle or an LA or Rochester.
I think my sense, and I've only been here 7 years, is Spokane is incredibly community oriented.
Yes.
And they want to see very much their own succeed. Mm-hmm. If you go back a number of years, and this was a problem when I lived in Rochester, a lot of people who grew up there, they were kind of tired of the snow and the grayness and all that sort of thing. And they went to college, they got a job, and they moved out.
Yes.
And so there was a fair amount of brain drain. They couldn't keep the young, energetic talent in the city proper.
And that happened here 20 years ago.
That's right. So they're very much on parallel paths that way. And now in Spokane, you see not only people, I think, staying here longer, but you see others coming back.
Yes.
And you see others who, even if they're located in Seattle or San Francisco, if they have an entrepreneurial idea or they have a company that is growing, they'll try to start a subsidiary or a branch of it here in Spokane.
Right.
And it's a very accommodating place to do business. And so it makes all the sense in the world. And it's a terrific place to raise a family.
Right. Yes, it is.
So it checks a lot of boxes.
I know I've talked to a lot of folks, the distilleries, the coffee shops, and the art places and so forth, and almost to a person, the information coming back is, I can talk with my competitors, and if we can all work together to promote coffee industry and whatever it may be, we're all going to benefit from it. It's not like you're taking away business, you're helping us all grow the business. You're educating the community and so forth. And I just see so much of that going on right now.
It's a very productive mentality because it's all about what one would term co-opetition.
Yeah.
People cooperating yet competing, and they're not viewing it as a zero-sum game that if I gain, you lose.
Right.
And I think that type of mentality is relatively rare.
Yeah.
And it's great that it's here. Yeah.
How unusual is the Spokane area in terms of that and just really pushing with the number of things going on? I'm thinking of Startup Spokane, I'm thinking of Tom Simpson now at Ignite,
Sure.
and all of that. It seems like we have a number of organizations supported by both education and the business community that are really going to help us continue to expand.
I would argue the community is just getting started.
Really?
I really believe that. I just think back to 7 years ago when I first set foot here.
Yes.
Okay. I remember in the city of Spokane, the streets largely rolled up at 9 o'clock. Mm-hmm. I remember going into Macy's, I had to buy a tie, and you could shoot a cannon off in Macy's. Nobody
And
was
not
in
hit
there.
anybody, yeah.
And now it's a condo development.
Yes.
Okay, Kendall Yards
It's
didn't
coming to
exist.
the 21st century.
It's coming to the 21st century, the Cork District.
Yes.
There's been an enormous amount, I think, of progress and investment that's taken place here. And you touched on a very important part before. You have, I think, a great interactive effect taking place now with the educational community.
Yes.
Gonzaga has a great entrepreneurial program.
Yes.
Whitworth has an entrepreneurial program. EW, Washington State.
Yes.
And that's incredibly important to have.
And they coordinate a lot of it too.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so you have now this educational backbone that's helping to feed and reinforce the economic development that's going on. And that bodes nothing but in a very positive way for the community going forward.
Are you saying that this is not a flash in the pan, that you think this is the beginning, not the middle or the end?
I absolutely do. And if you look at what Tom Simpson's been accomplishing with the Spokane Angel Alliance, you fund these companies, certainly some failed, others become spectacular successes.
Right.
And regardless of the failure and success, there are learnings from that, and people branch off and decide, you know what, I want to start my own company,
right,
and I want to do it here in Spokane. So a multiplier effect begins to take hold.
Yeah.
And so I think the entrepreneurial community that we see before us today is, I would argue, a light year ahead of where it was 2 decades ago.
Yep.
And I think you'll see it light years ahead 2 decades from now.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. It's been fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to see the community grow. It's fun to offer our young people an opportunity to stay here or come back.
Yeah.
I'll let them go away to college and they want to, stay there and so forth. I think of my son who's 41. Back when he was in high school, early high school, it was, Dad, I'm going to end up having to go to Seattle or somewhere else to get the job and so forth.
Yeah.
And he's employed here. Okay.
Right.
And I heard that from a lot of his peers at that time. Now they have a choice, and if they want to go, there's an advantage to going to a larger city and picking up some tips and everything else. But how do you, in a Seattle or a Los Angeles, end up connecting with somebody who you can get counsel from to start your business or to grow your business? It's much easier here in Spokane.
It is.
Because if I don't know somebody, I know you or I know him, and within a couple of people, I will connect with the right person, and they'll say, yes, how can I help?
Yeah. I think when I first came here, I mentioned Tom Simpson before, he was one of the first people I met in the Spokane business community. This is 7, 8 years ago. And from that one meeting, I forget exactly who, but he mentioned a couple of other people I should meet. And each person I contacted introduced me to other people, and before I knew it, there was just this enormous sort of network effect that took over, and here I, brand new to the community, and
you're immersed.
I'd like to think so, but it was really pretty amazing, and the thing that was really amazing to me was each person I contacted along the way. Nobody refused to meet with me.
Yeah.
Everybody was very open to spending 10 minutes over a cup of coffee just like this and getting to know one another.
Good.
Without exception.
So what exactly are you doing? What are a couple of the things that you're doing? Are you working with any individual companies right now, or working on the bigger picture of startups?
Sure. So there is an individual company. I don't know if I should mention them at the moment publicly or not, but they're getting ready to raise some money.
Yeah.
It's a startup. It's literally two very smart guys who came up with a business idea in their dorm room at Gonzaga, and they are driven, they are passionate, and they have, I think, nearing 1,000 customers. They're generating revenues, and they're looking to scale. And I'm working to help them put together their business plan and their pitch deck, and I think they're worthy of Spokane's attention.
And you'll get them invited onto our program, right?
I would love
At some
to.
point when
Yeah,
they're
they would be terrific
Yeah.
guests for you. Yeah.
I love this. I mean, I love how we all work together.
Yeah.
Because let's rise up and conquer the area.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is, we hear a lot these days in the news media about the negatives. The homeless, which really isn't a homeless issue, it's a drug and mental illness issue, and so forth. A lot of those problems, though, in terms of unemployment and so forth, can be solved by having a job.
Absolutely.
And having a purpose.
Absolutely.
And so that's the best social program we can do.
Amen.
Not going to solve it all,
Right.
but it can certainly solve a lot.
Absolutely.
Not to mention it produces taxes and everything else, so we can pay for it.
Yes.
And so
it's a
forth.
virtuous cycle.
Yeah. Matt, thank you.
My pleasure, Ken.
I love what you're doing, and you'll keep us posted and come on often.
I would love to.
Okay. All
Sure.
right. So how can people reach you if they've got a question, or do we want to tell them?
Well, my email address is matthewpkaufler@gmail.com.
Okay.
And they can
You can also
reach me
reach
there.
it through us if you
Sure.
want to email us,
Yeah.
and we'll pass it on and
Yeah.
all that. Thank you very much.
My pleasure,
for all
Ken.
that you're doing and all that you're doing to give back.
Well, thank you.
because a lot of jobs and a lot of careers are going to be because of what you're doing with some of these
Oh, thank you.
businesses, and that's important.
Well, we're
so
just
thank you
getting
very
started.
much.
You're welcome.
Hey, thanks for watching Business Talks. We'll see you on the next program. Take care.
Thanks for watching. Business Talks is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksMedia.com, which is solely responsible for its content. Business Talks is brought to you in part by STCU and Bryan Logistics. Ask Kent a question, recommend a guest, or hear this program again on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com.